Okay, here we go, folks. This is a big one. We've got. Oh, hang on just a minute to just mute that. Just got home from work, just in a bit of a rush. We've got Yamagutchitarou playing Bedhead. Two of the last remaining unbeaten players in the tournament. And it's a race to 16, and this is a race for the hot seat in the final. One of these players is going to go to the one-loss side. And straight away, Bedhead has won the lag, and we've got a 9-ball in the break, and it's 1-0. And just a quick reminder of the rules again. It's alternate break, no jump cues, and as you've just seen, the 9-ball is wild in the break. If it goes in, you win the rack. So, very quick start from Bedhead. Yama breaking off, and we'll call him Yama for the rest of the stream. 9 balls over that top left hand corner pocket. And Yama, of course, in the middle of this tournament has bought himself a break cue, which he certainly needs. And well, Bedhead, I've said it all along, Bedhead is my tip for the tournament, because I think he's got a good enough game to at least match Yama. It's all to do with the break of the ball and who makes the least mistakes. So Yama with a chance to run out. 9-ball makes that pocket bigger. He's nudged the 6 in. That actually deals with a problem. That saves him having to worry about getting on the 6. So just going to be a 7-9 combo in a second or two. So very quickly, this is going to be a positive response by Yama if he gets this combo. So in it goes, and we're at 1 rack all. And welcome to anybody that's watching the stream. Didn't even get a chance to look at the bracket and talk my way through how these guys got to where we are, but anyway, it's for the hot seat. It's to see who reaches the final. So dry break from Yama. No, sorry, 5 balls gone. In fact, it was Bedhead that was breaking anyway. And a little delicate one. Now this one here, he just has to be careful. He's got, ideally you would want to stun down for that 3. You would want to go that way. Hang on a minute. You'd want to go that way to stun down to the 3, but the 8-ball's a bit in the way, so he's got to be careful. And he's played that well. A little bit of draw just to spin the cue ball past the 8, and that's perfect. He's got a nice little angle on the 4. And he's just got to watch the pace here as well, because if the cue ball wants to run in behind the 6 and the 9, so it's got to be delicate. And I'm going to swap my mouse over. I don't like this mouse for using a little doodle thing. We'll just do a quick swap in that one and get in my other one. So he's got a nice angle again on the 4. Can run through or stun up. even if he stunned into the 8 or hit the 8, it wouldn't matter. He's okay. Right, we're okay now. That's us all set. So this is the sort of standard we're at now, where these two guys, it's really down to who makes the least mistakes, because I honestly don't think there's a great deal between the two of them. When they're both on, they're on, and they're very strong. But there's still other players in the one-loss side who have really got to prove their worth if they're going to win this tournament. And we've got another match tonight as well. Just a reminder, we've got Z Karaoke playing Tony Sato. That is a terrible shot in the 9-ball from Bedhead. Well, I don't know whether he paid much attention in that, but that is the first real mistake and a really careless shot in the 9. And Yama taking his chance, and that's against the break as well. So Yama's now breaking in rack number 4 with a 2-1 lead. And little careless things like that might be the only difference in the end result in this match. So just bear that in mind, the way that 9-ball was missed there. Very careless start, that one. But Yama's come up dry. There's a possible 1-2 combo and a chance here for Bedhead to redeem himself, but this 1-2 isn't easy. Yeah, it was never going to be an easy shot. But straight away, Yama has the angle where he can stun past the 3. Probably needs to play a bit of spin as well to get around behind the 4 and back across for the 2. And that's... well, at least he's on the 2. He's a bit straight, so probably just a little roll through here on this 2-ball and leave the cue ball on the short side of the 3. Now, how does that look? Well, that's a slight angle. Now, the cue ball wants to run over towards the 4 here with this shot. And he's managed to avoid it. So Bedhead took the chance of the 1-2 combo. He's missed the combo, and this is going to be the end result, I think, in this rack. Yama with a chance to run out to open up a gap. So essentially, already we've had 2 errors. The glaring error on that 9-ball by Bedhead and the miss on the combo, and it's going to cost him 2 racks. That's how the margin is so small. So the 6-9 combo lining up. And it's now 3 racks to 1 to Yama. And Bedhead already has to tighten up. He's got the 1 ball in the break, the 3 balls gone in, the 7's gone in, but he's got no great shot in the 2. But he's got to go for it. And this is not an easy 2 ball down this right hand rail, but he should be on the 4. And there's a bit of pressure in this, because at 3-1 down, he knows he can't afford to miss this. And he sent that. Is he going to get there? No, sent it to the rail too soon. And another chance here for Yama to extend his lead. Stream looks to be holding up okay. Happy with that. Well, that needs to keep running so we can get to the bottom side of the 5. He's playing this with left-hand English to check off the rail and come back in behind the 6. And just a gentle run in the 6 ball. Well, it's going to be 4-1 in a second or two. And Bedhead's now experiencing how easily it is to be punished by Yama. You make the mistake, he's going to clear up. That's basically what's going to happen. And that 2 ball down the rail, there was a bit of pressure on it. He knew the consequences of not getting it. The question also is whether Bedhead is going to hang off or whether he's going to go all out. If he goes all out and he doesn't get them in, he knows what's going to happen. And a 4-1 gap can very quickly jump up to 5, 6, 7. And remember as well, with it being an alternate break, as soon as you go behind, you're immediately, as I said before, you're swimming against the tide. At the level these two guys are playing, if Yama gets a ball in the break and he gets a shot, the odds are very likely he's going to run out. So it's going to be difficult even now for Bedhead to narrow this gap. And it's even more important what you do in your own break now. And Bedhead's just hoping he gets a little bit of run of the ball when Yama comes to break off. But I have also said previously that one of Bedhead's strong points is getting himself out of trouble when he's got himself out of shape. Well, I suppose you could say he's out of shape right now and he needs to do something about it. And this is not easy because that 5 ball, I think, is pretty tight to the rail. It's not far off touching, but it's difficult getting position on this 6. That 9 ball's just a hamper and a hindrance, and he's played that excellently. Beautiful control. And now he needs to be careful he doesn't get too tricky here and stun behind that 9. He wants to hit the 9 if he can, or avoid it altogether. Just skimmed off it. Now this looks all too simple. Where that 9 ball is, right in the middle of the table. And I would tend to just play this with a bit of top and inside and run back down the right hand rail as we look. That's the way I would play it. Anywhere near the middle pocket, you've got a simple enough shot in the 9. And he's played it with inside. And he's pretty much got a straight 9 ball. So this for 4-2. And that one has gone against the break, so Bedhead has a chance to break off, get a ball and get a run. Well, the 2 balls going in, the 3 balls going in the top right, and he has a shot in the 1. Now, I think he can comfortably cut the 1 ball and not scratch in the middle, but he needs to play it in such a way to get across to at least make the potting angle on this 4. So once again, it's a wee bit tricky. He's got to judge the pace. He doesn't want to underhit it. That's the worst thing he can do. Now a little clip on the 9 there would do him a favour, and that's worked out fine. That might be a bit straight. Yeah, he's a bit straight, but he can easily squeeze an angle there with a little bit of spin if he wants. Now his extension's already gone, so he shouldn't have any need for any more thinking time. We'll probably just drop in behind the 8 for the 8 in the same pocket here. Needs to be careful he doesn't get too much draw into this and scratch in the middle pocket. Oh, right, he's okay. And no heroics. Just a little run through if he wants, or a little stun over across. He can take the 9 in the middle or the 9 in the bottom corner, or the top corner as we look. So Bedhead has began his response, winning the last 2 racks, still trailing by 1, and the break goes back to Yama in rack number 8. And it's a dry break. No shot for Bedhead. No shot for... Shit, I thought that was the cue ball up there where the 8 ball is. That's the 9 ball. Well, you've got to expect him to run out. Run off the side rail, end rail, and back out into the middle of the table. For this 3 ball, the angle would just let you run and go that way. Well, he's playing little delicate ones here, and this is into a semi-blind pocket, this 3 ball, and it's not the best angle to get in the 4. Gonna have to work the cue ball a wee bit here, unless he just gently pots this and leaves the 4 in the middle. Yep, that was maybe not the best tactical manoeuvre there, playing the 3 ball that way. He should have ran round behind it like I suggested. The angle, freely let the cue ball run, because he had that big area in there to put the cue ball for that 3, and that's a mistake. Wrong choice of shot there from Bedhead, I'm afraid. Now, you don't want to try and get too cute with some of these shots. You want to just play simplicity. Well, this is a toughie for Yama. He might even just try and hide the cue ball here, unless he's going to go all out for it. So that's 3 mistakes that I can count. 2 of them have cost Bedhead racks. This could be the 3rd one. And he's played that well. Something cut in there. Now, Yama could keep this simple and just pot the 7 and leave the 8 ball long into the top left, or he could, with the angle he has, go back up the table, but if he did that, he could risk running too far and blocking himself out with the 9 ball, so he's left a bit more angle in this 8 than he would really like. And he looks as if he's playing this with a bit of right English as well, so that makes the shot even more difficult. But straight into the centre of the pocket, so this is going to be the 3rd rack that Yama has won out of his 5 racks that he's about to have on the board, and the 3 racks that he's won have all been down to errors by Bedhead. And this time Bedhead has come up dry, and Yama's got a shot in the 1 and plenty of room to get that cue ball back down the table here for the 2. Well, did you see that choice of shot there by Bedhead on that 3 ball? I mean, the 3 ball, you just run off the side rail, the bottom rail, and back out into the table, and you've got the 3 ball. He tried to get too cute, and you know, there's a heavy price to pay when you try and do fancy stuff rather than keeping it simple. When it works, it looks great, but when it fails, you pay the price. He's going to pay the price if he does a lot more of those against Yama. So it's a dry break for Bedhead. Yama at the table. Again, the angle's a bit more than is comfortable in this 4 ball. And we're in the middle of the 9th rack, and I have yet to count an error so far by Yama. Seven ball, plenty of room behind the 9 ball to pot it. Shouldn't be any problem there. He's just going to have to travel this cue ball up and down the table to get this 7, 8 and 9. Now, how's he done there? Well, there's the first mistake. And I think he can more or less just spin into this 7 ball, and if he gets it right, he can stun that 7 up the table and just try and kill the cue ball in behind the 9. So that's the first positional error, really. But if he gets this right, he could still be in a strong position. And that's not worked out right. Now, where's that 7 ball going? Well, this time it's Bedhead's chance to capitalise. And I think you can see already there isn't going to be an awful lot in this match. It's just going to be the odd shot from either of them that's going to cost them. Now, this shot here is not easy because that is not a great angle. He's going to have to force this. He's going to have to get some beef into this cue ball just to get it running. Well, he's choosing to leave things long. Plenty of room to get that cue ball up there. But in it goes. So at the moment it's 3 errors to 1 in favour of Bedhead, but more importantly it's 5 racks to 4 in favour of Yama. And it's Yama breaking off in rack number 10. We've had 1 golden break right in the first rack at the start of the match. That 9 ball's heading towards the top left again. And the 5 ball has gone, I think. And he's sitting pretty in the 1. Well, now, what does he do? Because there's 2/3 of a pocket there. I feel certain he's going for the pot. Got to be accurate though. Plenty of room. A little run through, I would imagine. As long as he gets the right angle in the 6. Easy enough to drop the 6 in. And just run onto that 7 ball. And while I'm on and while I remember, these two guys, Yama and Bedhead, last night, they actually had arranged their match for 3 PM today. Sorry, not today, for Friday. Tomorrow. They had arranged the match 3 PM. And then the two of them were asking me if I would be able to cover it. And unfortunately, tomorrow, my schedule at work meant I was working till 4 PM. And so they actually contacted the super admin, Steve Chaplin, and he cleared the schedule so that they could set it again. And then as soon as I got home and had something to eat and came online, the two guys very kindly were waiting in the lobby, and then they arranged their match. So once again, I'd like to thank them for that. That way we can get this match archived, so that at some point in the future, when you have nothing better to do and Virtual Pool 4's long gone, you can at least see some of the matches. So Bedhead has got Yama well and truly stuck on the 6 ball. Now he's looking for the deliberate foul and looking to tie the 6 and the 9 up, but I don't think he's achieved that. 6 and 9 are wide open, so that very tight safety has given Bedhead the opportunity with ball in hand. And it's not a simple run out. The first problem and the immediate problem is getting on the 4 comfortably. He's got a huge area to get this cue ball into. Anywhere within that area there, he's got a shot in the 4. Well, he's played the 2-9 combo, so that saves that problem. That was risky, but he got it lined up, took his time, didn't mess about, and got on with it, and he's now still trailing by 1. But that was a result of a good, tight safety. Yama breaking off in rack number 12, and it's another dry break. But look at the mess of the table there. I mean, the 1 ball's on. He's got the wrong angle on the 1. He's going to have problems here. even getting a shot on the 2, so he's not leaving himself in trouble here, Bedhead, so he's got to be careful. And that's why he's decided it isn't even worth the effort getting that 1 ball. Quite right. And he's got the cover. So it's all going to hinge on who can take control of this table, especially with the 2, 3 and 7 all tied up there. This could turn out to be a very interesting rack. Well, he's got the kick, nearly cut the 1 in. Now Bedhead, well, he can certainly make the angle to try and get that cue ball spinning off the right rail, or the left rail, with the right spin, and try and get up there and nudge something. But more importantly, he just needs to get somewhere where he can at least get to the 2. And it's going to be another safety. He's going to try and tuck that 2 ball there and just skim off it, I would imagine. Let's have a look from his end, see what he's thinking here. Well, if he can miss the 9, he can just chip it through between the 3 and the 9. And just try and marry the cue ball up to the 3. Well, anybody who's got any suggestions as to what Bedhead tried there, you can let me know, because that was a total disaster. That was a strange shot, that. Why didn't just push the 2 ball between the 3 and the 9 and just leave the cue ball there? You'd have a simple enough safety. A couple of strange choices of shot. Well, the 9 isn't going in because the 4's blocking the combo. But that's another error by Bedhead. And Yama, well, if you look at this 3-9, if you push the 3 across the 9, there's no way it's going into that pocket, so he's just looking to try and keep it safe. And the other thing here is the potting angle in that 3 is now available, so this is a pressure shot for Bedhead, because that 3 goes. That 3 definitely goes, and he can see enough of it just to make the potting angle. This is a crucial shot. And he's played it well. And the hard work still to get done here. It's not a great angle here on the 4. And there's a little bit of traffic just to avoid. So once again he's leaving it long. And that's what happens. You leave them long and you leave the awkward angles, you're leaving yourself open to mistakes, and that's another error. And that was a golden opportunity there for Bedhead to square the match off at 6-all. So, Yama given the second chance, and he tidies up and leads by 7 racks to 5. And the 8 ball has gone in, and he's on the 1, and the 2 balls on the left hand side. And the problem would be the 3 ball, which doesn't go past the 7. And the other problem is He ain't going past the 9 and the 4 either, so what does he do? Does he leave a 3-7 combo that needs to be made because it's not set and there's a fair bit of distance between the two balls, so we'll see how he manages to negotiate that problem. He could still even have a reasonable chance at a good safety on this 3 ball if he wants, if he doesn't fancy playing the combo. Well, the way he's played that, he's lining up the combo. He's got in as good a position as he can. He's probably a wee bit farther up the table than he would like. But it's another pressure shot for Bedhead, most certainly. And again, he's controlled that one well. And nothing fancy here, just a little drop in the 3, and he'll leave the angle in the 4 to drop down for this 5. Well, he's just got to simply come off the rail and across. And if he finishes roughly where the end of the arrow is, well, he's gone the short side again. And I have to say that a couple of choices, he's leaving himself a lot more work to do than what I'd be doing. Leaving it in the left-hand side of the 5, he's got the big high cut. But this is what I'm saying, that there's occasions I've watched Bedhead where he does this, where he goes unconventional and leaves himself awkward shots, and a lot of the times he does dig himself out of problems, but this time he hasn't. He's paid the price again, or he's about to if Yama gets this rack. And I think Bedhead is feeling a little bit of the pressure, but it's actually been put on himself rather than what Yama's doing. Once again, a huge area of the table open, and the angle he had, simple to drop over there. That's all you do, and you're on the ball into the pocket, and the cue ball back up for that 6, as it was. So some questionable shot choices here by Bedhead are costing him. They've cost him dearly already. And this is going to have to be a good one. It's a thin cut. It does go. It's got to be nailed. And he's got it. And it's not often he's going to get a second bite at the cherry against Yama. He just cannot rely on that, though. He's got to make better shot choices for his position. Now, I keep mentioning that you do what's the simple shot. You don't need to try and be spectacular to win a rack of 9 ball. You play it simple. But anyway, Bedhead has redeemed himself in a way. He's managed to win the rack, but he's still trailing by 1. And the break goes back to Yama in rack number 14. And a couple of balls have gone in. The 1 ball is one of them. And the 6 has gone, and Yama's sitting nicely on the 2. And this rack should be all over. No, but it was the wrong shot. I mean, he wanted to just finish by finishing on the left-hand side of the 5 when the simple natural shot, the natural shot I'm talking about, when you look at where the angle the cue ball's coming off that ball that was up at the top of the table to get on the 5, the natural angle is off the side rail and over to the right-hand side, and you're going to drop onto the 5. He tried to do something fancy and avoid running over the right-hand side. You're running into areas where you're going to give yourself a simple shot. He left himself high in the 5, and when you're trying to do cuts like that all the time, you're not going to pot them all. And Yama just going through the motions here in this rack. As long as he can get the draw right, he'll be sitting nicely on the 8. And this to open the gap to 2 again. And Yama is going to be halfway home in this race to 16. Well, the only time that Bedhead has been in the lead in this match was actually winning the lag and breaking off in the first rack and getting that golden break. And since then, he's been chasing after Yama. And Bedhead gets the 3 ball and the 6 ball in the break. A gentle 1-4 combo. That needs to get there. Is it going to get there? Oh. Well, I said gentle, but not that gentle. Now, a little bit of a dilemma here. Again, the natural shot would just let the cue ball run, because the angle of the cue ball is going to take it in line with the 5. It's going to finish here if you let it run. He looks as if he's... It's hard to judge but not look at it. He's just running that way. Without... I'm trying to avoid turning the table all the time so I can look at the angle I've got, but the natural angle was the cue ball was going to run behind the 5 anyway for it into that top right hand corner. So they're sharing racks at the moment, and Bedhead gets another one back. And we're into rack number 16. Yama breaks off, couple of balls have gone in, and look at this, he's sitting pretty in the 1, and there's a 9 for the combo to open up the gap again. So 9-7. And this time, Bedhead has got no ball in the break. Yama's got the 1 ball, but he's certainly not going to get the 2. That 3 ball is hindering any bank in the 2. Now, is he going to try and spin into these 2 balls? I don't know whether he's got the angle to do it. Well, he's trying his best. He's made a good effort at it, but the 8's blocking the path for the 2 ball. So probably trying to punch that 2 ball off the rail and down here somewhere if he can. And that will do. No, he bought a cue. He bought a break cue in the middle of the tournament, I think. In his first match, I never even noticed that he was using a playing cue. Sorry, a break cue as well. So a crucial kick here for Bedhead. And he's got it safe. Now, I don't know whether Yama can thin off the 2 and just skim back that way and avoid the 8. Try and use that 7 ball for cover. Or he might even send the 2 up that way and bring the cue ball back to the bottom of the table. Well, he's nudged the 2 into the 8, so that is an error. He's left the 2 on. And it all hinges on Bedhead getting onto this 3 ball, because if he gets on the 3 and he can pot the 4 and drop down onto that 5, he might be able to steal this one. Well, he's on the 3, used the 9 ball, but the cue ball is running the wrong way here. But there is a path. He's played the draw and he's gone a wee bit further than is comfortable again, because the draw off this 4 isn't a perfect angle to get onto that 5. So we're out of shape here. There's a bit of a problem with this 7 and 9 ball now, depending on what side he's trying to get to. Yeah, having to force the cue ball up and around the table, and the error has been made again. Hung up the 4 ball, but it is taking a pattern. As I say, he went the short way when the natural angle was to go the way I showed you and get the cue ball out into the table. He didn't want to let the cue ball run, and once again he's going to pay the price. And these are positional choices that Bedhead's making that are backfiring on him, because he's leaving himself awkward shots, which I dare say himself he's thinking he should be getting them. But you know, when you're in a match like this and you're against an opponent like Yama, the pressure is on him. He might not admit it, but it is definitely there and it's showing. And he just cannot get himself back on level terms here. And the gap's going to go to 3 again. Well, Yama's got rid of them because he's bought a playing cue and a break cue. So, Yama is the first player to get to double figures. But the more important part of the scoreline is it's a 3-rack gap. And Bedhead has made, well, I've counted him, he's made 6 errors that have cost him racks. And surprisingly, it's only 10-7. Yama's broke off in rack number 18. He's come up dry. And this is a problem, because he's pretty straight on that 2 ball. So once again, there's a bit of power needed on this cue ball to get right up the table. Well, it's almost there. And he's a little bit further off the rail this time with this 3 ball. It's still tricky because the cue ball wants to come up the middle of the table, and as long as he avoids the 9 and doesn't block himself off with the 5, he should at least have a sight on this 4 ball. He's been in between them. Now what does he do? Well, he can play the simple one and just roll the 4 in and leave a 5-8 combo, or he can try and get position on the 5. Well, it's going to be the 5-8 and another gentle roll on the 5 just to keep it adjacent to that pocket. He doesn't want the 5 running away or running onto the left side rail. And now he's dead straight in the 5. And that's a better judge of pace, because that's just going to be a straight draw, or at least it should be. Draw to about there. Kill the cue ball in the 7 if he leaves it straight, and pot the 9 in there. Now, when you're stunning these balls in at this distance, and you're putting a bit of bottom half in the cue ball, they're very easy to just nudge the jaw and hang up. But he's got it clean. So the gap is reduced to 2, and it's Bedhead breaking in rack number 19. And he's come up dry, and there's a shot on the 1 for Yama. Now, if he plays this plain ball and pots the 1, the cue ball's going that way. He's going to hit the 6. If he hits it hard enough, he might get lucky and get a shot in the 2, but he's no guarantee. He looks as if he's digging right down to try and draw across, but I think the angle's too much. Well, he's hit the 6 and he's going to scratch. So that's like error number 2 or 3 for Yama. He just tried to be delicate there to find the gap. He was always going to hit the 6 one way or another. So it's ball in hand for Bedhead. Now, what's the problem here? The problem is not so much the 3 ball where it is, it's making sure you've got an angle on that 3 to get the cue ball up the table. And he's gone pretty straight. Once again, he's close to the rail. So he's got to force something here. If he runs through, he's risking hitting the 7. So he's leaving himself. Well, that's terrible, isn't it? That is really poor, but it's another error. And he's blocked out in that 4. And he's going to try jumping. Remember, no jump cues. And it's ball in hand to Yama. So another really poor shot there by Bedhead, and it's going to cost him. Well, it might. The 5 ball is still an issue. It could be a 5-7 combo. It could be a 4-9 combo. At that distance, a bit risky. I notice Yama's back with his house cue. You notice that? Oh, did he? I never knew that. I just assumed he never had any. So the 5-7 combo. And this looks very likely that it's another rack where the error has been by Bedhead, and the outcome is going to be exactly the same result as it's been in another 4 or 5 racks in this match for him. Yama's going to come in. and going to run out. And just a simple roll in. So this to open the gap back to 3 racks is going to be 11-8. And Yama just needs another 5 to move into the final. At the end of this match, we'll have a look at the bracket, because I think the other 2 matches are both set. At least I think they are. I think there's one tonight and one tomorrow night, I think. I'll double check that on the bracket. So Yama breaks off in rack number 20. And the 4 and the 6 have gone. Well, lots of spin off that left and top rail and side rail, and he's sitting nicely on the 3. So this looks like it's going to be the first time in a match there's been a 4 rack gap, and it's at the crucial time for Yama. Well, he's left that one short, but it's into a blind pocket. He's going to be on the 7, no problem. He's just got to judge the cut on this 3. Right in the heart of the pocket. So side railing out into the right hand side of the table looks like the normal shot, but once again Yama's just he's doing the same as Bedhead in these last couple of shots. He's leaving it short. It just makes the shot that bit more difficult. But he isn't missing them. That's the difference. So this 9 ball down the rail, it looks fairly tight to the rail, that 9 ball, needs to be careful, but it looks as if it's going to be 12-4, 12-8, sorry, 12-8 with a 4 rack gap. And Bedhead breaking off in rack number 21, and he needs a ball and he needs a shot. Well, he's got a ball, but he's got no shot. So it's just going to be the push out. Well, somewhere up by the 5 ball looks reasonably safe, but he doesn't want, if you leave yourself down here or there, well, not there, forget that one, but down here, it's easy enough he's going to be blocked off by one of these balls. Yam will just snooker him. If he left it up there, he's leaving half a ball. And he's leaving a tempter for a pot, but at least it's less likely he's going to be snookered by Yama. And he needs to watch his clock here, because his extension's gone. Now, well, he's left it in the bottom side. Yama could push that 1 ball gently past the 3 and maybe nudge onto the 6 and snooker Bedhead. Or you could even go for the cut into the middle. He's looking at it and nudging into the 6 to hold for the 2. That's where he's lining up, I think. That's a great shot. He hasn't quite held perfect for the 2, but I'll tell you, this one's got to hit. If Yama can run out here, this is a thin cut in the 2, but that was a poor choice of shot by Bedhead. He was running his time down, and in the end he had to rush, but that wasn't where to play the push out. The push out would have been better up by the 5 ball. But Yama didn't take the risk trying to get full cover in the 2. He didn't quite get it. And suddenly this rack has developed an importance here, because Bedhead has got away with it at the moment. That error. And I can still count on one hand the amount of errors that Yama has made. He's made 3 maximum, if he has made 3. Well, you could class that as 1 because he hasn't got the cover and he's left a potting angle in the 2. And the pressure is right on Bedhead. He's got to come up with the goods. Well, he's checked that up. Now, I don't believe he was playing to play the 3 into that bottom, the top corner past the 5, because it's half a pocket. Well, what's he doing? Is he playing the combo or is he playing the pot? The cut into the middle looks like the only choice he's got. Well, if he's playing the pot, that's half a pocket is going into. If he's playing the combo, good luck to him. Yeah, that was asking an awful lot to squeeze that past. Well, the choice of shot there, I think, was the thin cut into the middle. And he could be in trouble here. Yama might be going for the reverse bank into this bottom right hand corner. And that's going in clean. Now, how's his luck? Well, there's no way that cue ball's going past the 6. That is really tight. That cue ball's going to have to spin out beyond the 6. Well, he managed to avoid the 6, but he had to play it delicate to try and keep that 4 ball holding its line. It was a good effort, but it goes down as an error and a chance for Bedhead. Well, this is a simple enough shot. Off the side rail, end rail, and somewhere over there for the 6. Well, the safest shot here is a stun. Even if he finishes short of the middle pocket, at least he's on the 8. And that will do. He can squeeze a little angle on this pot and just run off the end rail and around the angles if he wants with a bit of spin. Or he can draw it. At least he's given himself choices as to how he plays this to get on the 9. So he just played the draw. So Bedhead gets 1 back. And it's now going to be 12-9. And the break is back to Yama. No, it's not a spliff, it's a bag. So, break is dry. Now, can you see the potting angle in that one? I don't think you can. Now, what's he doing? Is he lining up a bank on the 1 to combo the 9? This will be a good shot. Well, that was a bit of a wild risk to be taken at the wrong time during the match. There was a safety on there, and he's left it wide open here for Yama. Well, you could summarise this match already, because regardless of what happens, Bedhead has made too many mistakes. I've got it counted here that he's made at least 8. And at this level against Yamagutchitarou, those errors pay a heavy price. And the other thing is the wrong shot choices for position have cost him as well. And that's really been the difference between the two. There hasn't been any other difference. Well, that almost went wrong. But it's, I think he can still pot the 5, and he's going to have to fizz this cue ball and try and get it moving off that rail if it runs through to the rail. And he's got the spin, and he's perfect in the 6. So that attempted 1-9 combo, and it has to be said it was like a 1 in 20 chance you would actually get that, maybe even higher than that. It was high odds to be able to bank that one up the table and get it perfect to combo that 9. And in a way, that's been a gift of a chance for Yama in this rack. And it's now 13-9. The gap is back to 4. And the racks are running out for Bedhead. And Bedhead's broken off. The 2 balls hanging over the top right. Yama's got the thin edge of the 1, and he can see enough of it to pot it. The 5's tucked behind the 6. That might, for the time being, be Bedhead's lifeline in this rack. And Yama had the angle, and he split the 5 and 6, and the 5 now goes clean. Took a bit of a risk there, but he'd have been really unlucky not to have a sight in the 2 ball. Now, what's the angle like in that? Pretty straight. He could punch this into the middle. He's got a slight angle, but he's just come back off it. And now we're at a high cut again. He's got to try and control the pace in the cue ball. And he's done that perfect. But with the angle now is he can't avoid hitting the 6. If he skims and draws off that 5, that 6 is going that way somewhere. He might try and just play this gentle and try and get a rub off this 6. And that's what can happen. 6 is going safe. Well, simple enough to skim off that 6 ball. Cue ball there and up there somewhere. Well, got no distance on it, so it's an easy safety here for Bedhead. He can use the 8 ball as the blocking ball and send the cue ball that way. Well, that's a good shot because he's got the distance, and at that distance it's very difficult to get the thin edge on this 6 ball, especially with the 6 ball being green against that rail. Of course, it depends what colour of table these guys are playing with, but it's very tough to keep that 6 tight to the rail. Now, he could be trying to punch this up the table and put the cue ball. And then, well, he's hitting it gentle. And he's not got the cover. And the shot here for Bedhead, looking at that angle. Send the 6 that way. Send the cue ball that way and back in here. But if he doesn't get the cover, the 6, unless it gets that bottom rail, it might finish in the middle of the table. Oh, that was wildly ambitious. That was too risky. Now, well, that 8 ball, even if you got the cue ball to where the donut is, you can't hit that 8 ball clean to pot it. I don't think you can. My eyes are not that great, but looking at it, I don't think you can get the potting angle in the 8. But that was far too risky a shot, that 6 ball. But Yama has the angle in the 7 and he can spin off this bottom rail. He could even stun across, but he could spin off the rail and come in. Oh, the little nudge has done him. That is what I think. Has he got enough of that? I think he can maybe just coax that 8 ball. It might go to the jaw. He's got to just miss that 9. Yep. Well, here's a pressure shot. What do you do here? Do you play safe or do you risk the 8-9 combo? And the angle is ugly on this. Well, if he went for that 6 ball, he might as well go for the 8-9 combo. But this time he's thought wisely and played the safety. And that's good enough. And Yama, well, I'll be honest with you, I think he'll more or less concede this rack because I don't think he can do anything to keep this safe. It'll be a damn good shot if he does. Well, he's going for the jump. Oh, that's a beautiful shot. What a shot. Well, he certainly worked out how to play the jump shot with a playing cue. That was a classic shot, that one. Excellent. And I would have swore blind that Yama was buried and dead and buried behind that 9. But what a great shot to snatch another rack. And it's now 14-9 and he's only 2 away from the final. And Yama breaking off. And a ball has gone in. And it's the 4 ball. And he's on the 1. And this rack is over. There isn't a problem in the table. Did he play that jump with the house cue there? I never even looked at his cue. Well, I mean, I looked at that shot, and as far as I was concerned, Yama had no shot to play in that 8 ball. But he played the jump, and he played it perfect, and the 8 just dropped in dead weight in the pocket. Deserved to win the rack with that shot. And now he's going to capitalise. It's going to be a break and run. Well, this is a wee bit fiddly. He's ran farther than he would have liked on this 6 ball. This is a bit of a tweaker. But just drops it in dead weight again. And a little soft draw in the 7. And he's going to be 1 away from victory. And just think of all the mistakes, the errors that you would count that Bedhead has made, either positional errors or potting errors, which he's made. And I've counted them as 9. And from about 7 of those errors that Bedhead has made, it's cost him racks. And if you look at the difference in the score, you can see how different this match might have turned out had Bedhead got his act together right from the start. I mean, he started off great, getting that 9 ball in the break. But very quickly, those little errors crept in, and it was costing him rack after rack. No, that's true. Even with the jump cue, it was that bloody close. You would swear you'd never get the cue ball over that object ball. Well, that deserves to win any rack, that shot played with a playing cue. So, push out played. Couple of balls have gone in the break. Bedhead had no shot. Well, an attempted bank by Yama has given Bedhead a chance to get to double figures. A little run through for the 2 into the left middle. Well, the little bit of fiddly one here is that 7 ball, because I'm certain that 7 ball's pretty tight. When you look closely, there's a good 2 or 3 millimetres off the rail. Where's the cue ball going? Oh. Well, he's left a nice angle in the 4. He can drop over behind the 7. Somewhere up by that right middle pocket would be perfect. He doesn't want to leave himself any greater angle on the 7, and that'll do it. Well, now I could keep this simple and just pop the 7 in and leave the 8 long. And as long as he's got the angle to run through in the 8, he can drop onto the 9. And that will do. So Bedhead is going to get to double figures. But he's still trailing by 5, and he's at the point of no return. And this is where alternate break really punishes you when you get behind. Your opponent's sitting waiting in one rack for the match, and your opponent's breaking off in the next rack. And a couple of balls have gone in the break. And he's got a shot in the 1. This match is over. Even though the 3 ball's gone behind the 8, there's still plenty of room down the left-hand rail for the 3 ball. That's the only one that might cause Yama a problem, if he just gets out of shape getting to this 3 ball, but it should be over. Well, the angle he's got there, he might be trying to come back to here, but no, he's running. Now, has he got there? I think he can just squeeze that in. He can actually just send it in off the jaw. He's got enough of the 3 ball shown to be able to do that. So, position to the 7 from this 4, and the match is over. And no doubt about that. Well, it's about what might have been had Bedhead cut out those errors. There has not been a lot in it. But it's Yamagutchitarou who is going to get to the final of the VP4 US Open, and he wins by 16 racks to 10. And let's have a look at this bracket now. Well, that's about to update in a second or two. It should update any second. There we go. So Yamagutchitarou is into the final. Bedhead now moves across to the 1-loss side, and he's sitting in the loser's final, if you want to call it that. Now, meanwhile, we have Albinario on the 1-loss side, who's going to be playing Z Carioca tonight at 7 PM, and that is just under 2 hours away. It's now just gone 5 o'clock, and that's a race to 11. And if we look above, we have Cobra and Tony Sam. They've arranged their match, and that's going to be tomorrow night at 7 PM. So we've got the first match to go ahead tonight. Albinario, multiple virtual world champion, against Z Carioca. So Albinario will be the favourite, but Albinario has not played good in this tournament, but he's still in it, and that's all that matters. But if he gets loose, then Z Carioca is capable of taking racks off him. But I would think, on paper, Z Carioca is more likely to make more mistakes than Albinario, but I think it's a bit of a dilemma as to what way it might go. If Z Carioca gets off to a good start and puts Albinario under pressure, you never know what the outcome might be. But anyway, regardless of that, the winners of these matches here are going to be playing off against one another to see who then will play Bedhead to get to the final. And that's going to be a tough ask, whoever gets there. But Bedhead, well, if he looks at the match and looks at the rerun, he'll see where he made the mistakes. He'll see a couple of shot choices that were wrong positionally, left it too tough, and they cost him among his other mistakes that he made. And Yama, well, he just did what he does. He pots balls. And in the end, it was a 6-rack gap. So anyway, folks, we will thank you for watching, and we will be back in just under 2 hours' time for the first of those one-loss side matches. This one tonight, Albinaru and Z Karaoke, and tomorrow night is going to be Cobra and Tony Sam at the same time, 7 PM. And until then, and if you're going to join us later on, we will see you again very soon. Thanks for watching.